has to do with society. Has to do with society.
In America, you buy a big house and you pay gradually for 30 years of your life. That is politics. In Nigeria, you carry all your salary and go and rent one room. Bad politics.
Everything that has to do with
you
society.
must negotiate. If we don't negotiate, when a man is pushed to the wall, he bounces back with double levels. We have been pushed to the wall.
The Hustle. Every weekday from
1 p.m. to 3 p.m.
on Today 95.1 FM.
How is that even a thing right now?
Why are you frowning your face?
How am I frowning my face? Guys, don't pay no mind to this young man. You're welcome to today's hustle.
You see, even the frown will let you tell them welcome properly.
Who is this person in front of me right now?
Like,
all right, guys, you are welcome to today's hustle.
You're welcome
the first
to
half
today's.
of the show.
It still doesn't show you're happy. Where's the happy wealth?
I don't understand.
Have you eaten?
So?
Because the hungry man or the hungry woman in this case is an angry woman. Which is it for you?
But I'm not angry now.
Why are you frowning?
How am I frowning?
Have you greeted me?
Please, if you're watching us via YouTube, be sure to, I don't know, leave a comment if I'm frowning because I don't know what's going on here.
All right. 4 minutes go past the hour of 1. And yes, you're welcome to today's hustle on Today 95.1 FM. We have Angry Wealth and Happy Calendar in the studio today.
An exaggerating calendar.
That people are commenting the most on, and we will be talking about them. And you get a chance to drop your comments. Remember, on Facebook, we are Today 95.1 FM. And on Twitter, we had Today FM 951. So you go there, you drop your comments. Of course, you'll see the stories that we intend to talk about and we intend to look at. And let's start with the first one on our list for today. And it says that Nigerians are angry over government's plan to mark independence for 365 days. I'm not going to join in the anger. I'm just going to let, Wealth is already the one who's, fuming and all. So she's going to do the venting for today. So what do you make of this? Why do you feel like, what?
Because you should explain what that is about.
Okay,
like, how do you want me to vent over?
I want to explain it now. Now, according to the federal government's plan, it will be, marking the 60th independence of Nigeria for one full year, beginning from October 1, 2020. And, of course, the celebrations will end September 30, 2021. Now, we do not know what the celebrations will look like, but the fact is we will be celebrating for one full year. And I'm thinking that, being a Nigerian for so long, I kind of think that the celebrations will border on, certain ceremonies once in a while, marking, the reached the 60th mark of our independence. So I'm looking at it. Although the president said it would be a low budget celebration, I'm wondering how celebrating for one full year is low budget. I mean, the same government will tell you that they are grappling.
Apparently they plan to, every time the presidency comes on the news or there's anything to talk about, they would, give some sort of felicitation to the just concluded independence. That's after the set date, right? So I feel that's what they want to do. But then again, people are wondering how maybe not really a ceremony, but as I said, maybe just always pointing out the importance of the independence to us for the coming year.
That's not a celebration, is that? And I'd like to hear from you what you think about this very one. But then again, there is also developed, and they're asking Nigerians to accept and embrace the new logo, which is, a how do I put it? Which is communicating to us the reason why we need to come together.
A symbol for that unity.
Yeah, and forge a united. Reports on the new crime fighting agency in Nigeria.
That's getting everybody buzzing. Everybody has reacted, or is still reacting to that particular.
Yeah, they will be in charge of handling it. And the question is, why is EFCC and ICPC not enough in handling recovered loot? Because these are the agencies. This is self-explanatory. Yeah, economic, financial, crimes commission. Why can't they handle recovered loot? What's the CBN doing? Because I'm of the opinion that any recovered money should be sent to the
Federation
CBN.
or just sent to the Federation account, right?
Yeah, which is still under by the CBN.
First of all, yeah, one would ask, we haven't been able to put in place, a proper structure that would man and maintain the order and the importance of this other anti-graft agencies that we have. Now we're talking about creating another one and now giving it its function already. I mean, handling or management of proceeds from looted recoveries in the country. And then you would ask yourself, mismanagement has always been the bane of this nation and every institution in it. I mean, we're yet to talk about the issue with the EFCC. I mean, Ibrahim Magu is still on the hot seat. And then you would ask yourself, is it that we look away from, the possibility of fixing our issues or just create new things that would, in the later future, become a problem again?
Of course, every time there's a problem, why work on it?
You just create something new, and then much later it turns out to be,
create a new one
faulty
again. You create a new one again.
That's not how we should do it. I mean, first of all, we don't even have enough money to even think of creating another anti-graft
together, the sitting officers, and then we pay them salaries for maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 years, and after a while, these people are not efficient. In short, the acting chairman of this new agency is corrupt. I mean, we have to try him. Then they set up a judicial panel, and then it's a cycle.
Let's just fix the accountability of the already existing agencies, and then stop looking at creating new ones. And the fact that they're trying to make it sound good, I mean, it's not so much of an issue. That's coming from Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami, who was explaining that the assets with agencies, other than think of creating a new.
All of a sudden I can find it. Okay. The new agency is called. I'm the only one allowed to laugh. Proceeds of Crime Recovery and Management Agency. Very soon.
Well, I just hope the National Assembly doesn't accept this.
Very soon, in the next.
It's a simple.
Predicting we would have looter.
He has the right to want to think that this would be our solution, right?
Well, let's go back to the conspiracy theories that we've all had in our heads for a while now, which is, the face-off between Malami and Magu is probably as a result of, people fighting for who's going to be in charge, so to say, who's going to, who's going to be playing the most politics come 2023. And that's a conspiracy theory I hold very close to my heart. And this is the reason. Now, if you look at a similar report, it says Sage-led Presidential Advisory Committee Against Corruption on Wednesday accused the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami of having well-known proclivity for aborting high-profile criminal cases in favor of major political and government figures. And that's a very, very huge allegation. But if you look at it, one of the reasons Malami fell out with Magu was some accusation of insubordination, where Magu does not follow the orders of Malami. Could it be that Magu was refusing to bow down, in terms of aborting certain big man's case, so to say? Because, Magu was, before the Judicial Commission or inquiry into his activities, alleged criminal activities, it was beginning to go for big names, names that people are saying, oh. So the question in my head is, this new agency makes EFCC and ICPC, according to many analysts, less effective because, if I don't know if you get where I'm coming from. It makes them less because it looks as if, much responsibility has been removed from them. Could it be politics? Could it be? But then again, maybe they're trying to make sure that these agencies are accountable. But I really do not know what you think. But this allegation from Issei Sage, it's a very, very strong allegation in my opinion. And I feel Malami also should be investigated, and that's a call I'm making.
The truth of the matter is that whenever you are in a very sensitive position and certain allegations come up, things that tend to want to taint or even defame your person. Right. I mean, you should allow yourself to be investigated. I mean, clear your name so that the people understand. I mean, you can't not be the Attorney General of the Federation and have all of these allegations lingering with your name, right? And the truth of the matter is that some people say that the issue with Ibrahim Mago is a witch hunt. And then you would wonder, okay, is this what we really have going on in the country? Well, I do feel that with Malami, all he has to do is make sure that all of these allegations do not linger for too long.
All right then. And I don't think Malami is the one.
The president owes it to us to make sure that the Attorney General of the Federation is rid of all of these plenty allegations that seem to be bedeviling his office.
And since we're still talking about Malami, yesterday a couple of lawyers began to sign. Is it? Yeah, a couple of lawyers. Was it yesterday or the day before?
Yesterday.
A couple of lawyers began to sign a petition to, remove the SAN, title from Malami. But apparently, there's a name they call the group. They have given Malami the life benchers title, and so he's going to be for life. There's no removal of the sand from Malami anymore. And then I'm thinking in my head, how far these guys who are signing petitions, how far these guys, what's up now?
It could be revoked, isn't it?
I'm wondering if that's possible. I'm wondering because I know once you become a life bencher, in my opinion, it's for life amongst the association of today we stand on the threshold of history as we formally begin a series of activities commemorating Nigeria's diamond anniversary. The task is to saddle and unveil a logo that will rest on. But then again, I'm wondering how we are the biggest black nation in the world.
Prosperous.
Oh, a prosperous black nation in the world.
Well, I like how very optimistic the president is. Especially when he tries to address the nation or talk about the nation as a whole, right? And I sort of feel that this is quite prosperous.
Maybe,
we could have the resources, but we haven't harnessed it enough to help the economy and the people.
But like I said, a man who has plenty children, 200 million children, and is, able to feed about 60% of them, you can dare say that man is prosperous. If you look at it from that angle, so population too, maybe, or the fact that we had the biggest economy in Africa at a certain time. The statistics did say we are before the COVID-19. They said we are because we overtook South Africa at the time it was going through recession. So could that be that that's the reason why we are the most prosperous? Because I'm wondering. I hear Rwanda's economy is growing at a faster rate. I hear that Ghana's economy is also growing at a faster rate. But then again, how are we the most prosperous?
Expressing every time. He talked about uplifting 100 million Nigerians. Hopefully that prosperity will show in that 100 million come 2023 or even 2025. And as
so
that goes on.
It goes back to the example I made that it's only a rich man who can feed 200 million people. So someone is bringing 100 million people from poverty. And
let's wait till the 100 million people are out of the poverty now. But for me, I do think that he's just expressing some sort of optimism. And the truth of the matter is that even though you're trying to be optimistic, do not shy away from the reality. The reality is that we have tons of reports and reality staring us in the face that lots of Nigerians are, diving straight into poverty. A lot of them are living below the dollar. A lot of them do not have jobs. A lot of them are unemployable or not employed. And all. I mean, these are realities that we have to, bring into cognizance just as much as we're trying to be optimistic, right? I mean, the president coming to say that we're a prosperous nation, maybe he should state that it's because of the resources that we have, and if properly harnessed, we probably
As of 2015, when we had been working at, but you see that a number of people, instead of led and all efforts to unite Nigeria and Nigerians, have not worked.
All right, that's Femi Adesina. It's not letting go. It's not letting go. I mean,
and not what's responding to, right, and all of that. Well, I sort of feel this is very, very sad, because in the first place, he's talking about the fact that they're putting in so much effort to undivide Nigeria,
because
the
other leaders, which Obasanjo is a part of, divided Nigeria.
Now the thing is, Nigeria was divided, as he mentioned, isn't it? And currently is still dividing, despite all efforts put in, which means that their efforts are not even good enough.
I don't know how you're looking at it. I don't think that's how he said it. He said Nigeria was divided before Buhari came in, and Buhari has been working tirelessly to see how he can superglue Nigeria together. And the superglue is working. It takes time for superglue to dry, so the superglue is working. The superglue is working, but. You can't say Buhari divided Nigeria. That is his argument, because Nigeria was divided, and Buhari's efforts, developmental strides, and the likes, has put Nigeria together more than ever. That is what he's arguing. Right. And I'm wondering if Nigerians will agree with that one, because on Twitter, Femi Adesina has been battered. I mean, Femi Adesina has been even on Facebook as well. But the truth is, do you think that Nigeria is less divided under Buhari, as Femi Adesina has argued? We would like to hear from you as well. But still sticking with the politics of the nation, I don't know if you saw the report where it says that terrorists have occupied Kishi, and this is coming from Gani Adams. Now, Ahare Onakakanfo of Yoruba land, Gani Adams, on Wednesday raised the alarm for the second time within 4 weeks that armed terrorists have occupied Kishi and the vast Old Oyo National Park in the Oke Ogun area of Oyo State. In a statement by Special Assistant on Media Kainde Aderemi, Adams said he had informed the Oyo State government, Alaafin of Oyo, and other relevant stakeholders in security of the area contacted the Special Advisor on Security to Governor Seyi about. However, residents of Kishi confirmed the claim to the nation yesterday evening, saying no fewer than 11 motorcyclists were attacked and kidnapped by the suspected terrorists in the town yesterday. Now, you remember Malafia. He said that the bandits were already in the forest in the southwest and other parts of the south. Now, there was also a report sometime 3 weeks ago, I think, where someone in Abuja, I can't remember who it was, raised, it was a government agency, by the way, raised an alarm over the fact that certain bandits are taking over a particular part in Abuja there. And of course, they were writing to the IG critically into the eminent Nigerians are beginning to pop up with same narratives or similar narratives.
When you talk about take seriously the allegations by Malaife, isn't that contradictory? Because, I mean, sometimes I go through the paper and I see him by the DSS say that he had refuted everything that he said and did not mean any of those. And I mean, it's so back and forth. We get the point that certain persons may be, responsible for the terrorism and the insecurity that we have in the country. But then having this rocking back and forth for me doesn't even do the magic.
Now that you mentioned, now you see, with the DSS and Malafia's romance, you would realize that is all surface level. They're all looking at, why would you make inciting statements? What you said could cause, this and cause that. But nobody's looking at the allegations. Nobody's looking at, okay, whether Malafia is going to talk or not. how do we go underground,
How do
investigate
you say
this?
that the DSS is just looking at this allegation on the surface level when they are charged to make sure that whatever allegations that, threaten or, incite some sort of unrest in the nation should be taken really seriously? It would simply mean that they're not doing their job.
But you alluded to the back and the forth, where you said, DSS came out and said, it was only playing to the gallery. It was, false allegations. It was this. But, that's how, when you go to gather intelligence, which we're very good at gathering, by the way, in Nigeria, you would probably, just like we gathered, this part of the country, security should be opting, just like the army will do when they go for, crocodile dance, for instance, or they go for, all the programs that they initiate, because they have got intelligence that those areas might just be full with unrest.
It simply means, again, that somebody somewhere is not doing their job right.
Okay.
And that's what it is. I mean, we cannot be having allegations like this that threaten national security and peace. I mean, the unity of the people is at stake here. And then you tell me that the DSS is just on the surface level. It would simply mean that it's either the government is not, willful enough to pursue the insecurity in the country, or it just makes no sense.
Maybe I was wrong to say the DSS is operating on the surface level, because we really do not know what they are doing about it right about now. But my thinking is, if we go back to the statement of Malafia, you would realize that it's somehow, maybe not all of it, maybe just small portion of it, but it somehow correlates with what these eminent traditional rulers said, and what someone also said. I'm trying to remember the agency in Abuja.
True.
Yeah,
I mean, you remember one time when now I can't remember the person. I think it was a certain individual as well who had come out to say that, the fight against insecurity is one-sided, because expects that with all of this kind of allegations or talks from different individuals and even traditional rulers in the north, that you would expect that the DSS and whatever military agency would take up these allegations, go fact-finding, and make sure that in the end of the day, the persons who may be involved in this, are brought to book. But then that seemed not to be the issue, because day in and out, we keep having those reports that certain persons are involved in insecurity in the country, and still no name is attached to certain person, and still no sort of intelligence has been able to lead to some sort of evidence that would, persecute someone or make somebody pay or go in for all of these allegations.
All right, then. Let's wrap up quickly now. There are reports, still talking about traditional rulers and insecurity. There are reports that the National Assembly, the Senate, represented by the President of the Senate, that's Ahmad Lawan, is calling for some constitutional role for monarchs when it comes to insecurity. Monarchs should be able to play a role. Just maybe if monarchs are much involved and giving some kind of responsibility backed by the constitution, just like the police, just like the governors, just like the, various security agencies, then maybe we will see a dwindling of insecurity in the country.
But don't these monarchs and traditional rulers already work hand in hand with local government council and all of that is responsible for, the peacekeeping? I mean, they have some sort of link, right, with people who also are given constitutional rights as to how to man peace and unity in a certain area. So I sort of feel like they already have that obligation.
They do have the obligation, but then it's not,
constitutional.
It's not formal. I want to put it that way. It's not formally backed by the constitution. It's just an informal, okay, you're the monarch of this place, make sure your people are safe. Yes, they have that responsibility, but then again, if you put the constitution to work on this very one, just maybe because remember when Governor Wike made it a directive in Rivers State, I saw, we saw some of the traditional rulers running helter-skelter to make sure there was peace in their localities, because the governor had said that he will be dethroned if, there was, if there was small violence in your community, you will be dethroned. So we saw a lot of traditional rulers run helter-skelter to make sure that peace returned to their localities. And that's one of the things, that gave birth to the relative peace that we do see in, River State, because a lot of them decided to incorporate, a version of OSPAC in their community, which saw, those boys who perpetrated mayhem in those communities apprehended or saw them fleeing away from the community. So just maybe, I do not know, this could help. And, I'm wondering what you listening is thinking about this very one. But let's wrap up. Two more stories. I'm wondering if we can take both of them. Osibanjo's aide, I beg your pardon, came out to say that the electricity tariff hike won't affect most Nigerians, and his reason was that the hike only affects those who use 12 hours of electricity and above. And then I laughed because it means that you're saying most Nigerians do not have 12 hours of electricity, which is bad. But moving forward, yesterday, Chris Ngige came out and said that, Labour and the federal government had reached some kind of agreement. And then TUC came out and said, nah, hold it. I don't know where you got your information from, but if our demands are not met...
I mean, I think they gave the federal government an ultimatum.
Yeah, they did. And they said after the ultimatum, they go strike. Because it'd be like, say, it's only a strike, the government understands. So the point is, I'm wondering, is this good for Nigeria? Because in the current situation we find ourselves, having striking labor force is not good because it means that the economy will be grounded even more. I'm thinking from that direction.
Let's first off talk about Osibanjo's aid and apparently what they think about the hike in electricity tariff. We all know that no matter how we want to analyze and explain this particular thing, we know that in reality, it would affect everybody. Whether we like it or yes, whether they tell us this for 12 hours or not. I mean, have you heard of the VAT increase? And you notice that, this VAT increase was not supposed to affect everything. But the ordinary Nigerian doesn't understand that.
All right.
I mean, add VAT to whatever commodity he's selling. He would tell you that, haven't you heard? And all of that. So we know that all of these things may not necessarily affect the average Nigerian, as you mentioned, who does not have 12 hours rather of power supply. But then these things, this is Nigeria.
So what does this mean? That we should be comfortable with not having 12. Do you know what 12 hours is? 6 to 6. 12 to 6. Or 6 to 12.
If you go on with that particular report, you will notice that they also mentioned that they are working on increasing the
power
distribution in the country. So maybe they countered themselves and also gave you some sort of hopes, hope for you to hang on to. But then talking about TUC and Chris Ngige, the truth of the matter is that a lot of persons would back the organized labor if they decide to go on strike.
But is it the way forward? Because
whether we understand that the subsidy removal is for our good or not, they would back that.
But yet again, is it a good thing? Because it's scary.
We all know it's not a good thing. I mean, the economy, first off, is not even doing well. Then labor goes on strike, and God knows for how long that strike would last.
And let's say, government decides to back down. It also is not good for us because it means we go back to the subsidy era and we'll not be losing much more money as revenue because...
so it's a two-way thing. It's either we sacrifice. And see, I feel, maybe NLC would not have, felt the need to go on this particular organized protest or strike, if they saw that the people at the helm of affairs are also, part of the people bearing the brunt of this particular thing.
You have an argument. So I'm guessing the government should, reduce their spendings or their...
We're here shouting reduce their spendings and all of that. And somebody's proposing a bill to create a new anti-graft agency.
And it's employment now. Are we not also asking for employment?
With the money we don't have, with the funds we don't have.
But we've been crying for employment as well. I mean, we've been saying we need employment and government is creating a new agency.
So what happens 5-10 years down the line when they come out and tell you that this particular agency is ineffective? People are being very lackadaisical about their duties and all. They would have created another one, so would have been celebrating another employment. Let's touch one last story, please, and then we open the phone lines. I hear there's a 13-year-old boy, Umar Farouk,
who has been sentenced to 10 years in prison for blasphemy. And now, in a statement, the United Nations Children's Fund has called on the Kano State government to urgently reverse the sentencing of the 13-year-old boy. Now, a Sharia court in Kano convicted Farouk after he was accused of using disparaging language on Allah during a disagreement with his friend. Farouk was sentenced by Aliyu Kanu, the same judge who passed the death sentence on Yahya Sharif Aminu, a musician, for blasphemy. This is I really do not know what to say, but I was hoping I could bank on Wells vents or venting for today, but I don't know. And I don't even have strength to vent myself. I mean, how can you sentence a 13-year-old boy to 10 years imprisonment for what? For you saying something wrong or bad about Allah?
If we want to be truthful, these are just some of the reports that we get lucky to see.
Yeah, true.
What about other persons, other Muslim faithfuls who probably have been sentenced by the Sharia law to some sort of punishment or execution that we don't really get to hear? Now, even when we're talking about the young man, the musician who is to be executed unless he appeals, I mean, I felt it was, too outrageous, right? I mean, we're living in a time and dispensation where people get to be liberal about what they believe in.
Right.
I understand that it might be very disheartening to have somebody, trample on what you believe or make little of what you believe. But then again, why do we have a constitution that enables such judgment?
My question will be, and you have solid questions, by the way, but my question will be slightly different. I'm wondering, in a country so religious, why we don't act like religious people. What do I mean? In religion, so to say, in the various religion all over the world, the religion is said to be centered on love, whether you are a Buddhist, whether you are
apparently we always skip that one.
Okay.
I mean, we're so religious, and we have our leaders who are so have sacred respect for their own religion as well. Still loot and steal and embezzle and what have you.
And nobody calls them.
I was still very. I wonder.
And in truth and reality, that's blasphemy, in my own opinion. I mean, if you say I am a Christian and then you're given an opportunity to lead the people and then you loot the office dry, that's because you've tarnished the name of the God of Christianity.
From what I know, a leader is like God's representative here on earth. So apparently, if you do wrong, you are representing whatever God in a wrong light.
Of course.
But anyway, this is what we have right now in front of us, and it's quite disheartening.
All right, let's open the phone lines for people to add their views on some of the issues that we've reviewed on the show this afternoon. Remember, we've talked about quite a few things. Number one was we will be celebrating 60 years independence anniversary for 1 year.
65 days.
No, let's make it 1 year so that you understand. 1 year. Now 1 year. Now 1 year. Yeah, 1 year. And of course, Buhari is boasting that Nigeria is the most prosperous nation, black nation rather in the world. Most prosperous black nation.
I have the feeling a lot of persons would react to that particular.
And of course, we're wondering where that notion is coming from. And of course, we also told you that EFCC and ICPC may be having new competitions as a new brand of corruption agency is being created by the government. And of course, we also told you about how Nigeria is less divided under Buhari, because Buhari has been trying his best to superglue things with all the developmental strides and all the construction going out. We also told you about monarchs should have constitutional roles in terms of insecurity, and then of course terrorists have occupied Kishi, and this is coming from Gani Adams. And finally TUC and FG continue their face-off. So you can drop your thoughts on WhatsApp or text message portal, which is 0701 933 996, or you can better still call into the studio with the numbers 0817-000-0951 and 0810-951-0951. On Facebook, it is Today 95.1 FM, and on Twitter, it is Today FM 951. Let's see who we have here.
Hello, Canada.
Good afternoon.
Sounds like Lawson. Yeah?
Yes, greetings.
Lawson,
Good
welcome.
This is
afternoon,
Lottie calling from Yenekwa.
You're welcome.
You see, yes, I expect Labour at this time to be discussing subsidy reinvestment. I mean, palliatives on how, you understand, the money realized from subsidy can be used, you understand, create some kind of palliative, expect it, you understand, for the people. Not to talk of government still going back to subsidy. But this subsidy regime is killing Nigeria. Honestly, I don't know. This one is not about politics. It's not about party. Look at how much that government is giving to marketers. And is it that they want government to keep giving this amount of money to marketers? And again, when government removes its hand, private people can look at the number of licenses Obasanjo during his time gave. Only Dangote came up. All the rest, why? Because government, you understand, hand was still in it. So when you look at it, Dangote is coming. Already the one in Imo State, you understand, has been commissioned. It will take effect from October, 4th of October. The one in Bayelsa is going on.
There is one. There are about one in Rivers State as well. One in Rivers State.
Good. You understand? So it's just like one of these days I was listening to Wells, and then she was saying gradually, it's not that Dangote is coming, but gradually others will begin to come, others will begin, and price will be forced that even the Dangote that is saying is going to sell, you understand, at international price. Don't forget the shipping down also add to the cost we are paying. Whether you like it or not, all of that will be removed.
All right,
so I don't like this thing where labor is always threatening strike. Strike is never the option.
Right.
Strike will add to the problem of the people.
So they should shift priorities now.
You said?
They should shift priorities instead of moving.
Yeah, they should shift priorities, discuss with government, see how the money can be used.
All right,
That's what they should be doing.
All right, then. Thank you, Lawson. Moving on, 95.1 FM.
Hello, Kala, good morning or good day?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Fine.
My sister, I agree with you.
Good afternoon.
Yes, I told the line of Lawson now concerning the subsidy.
All right, then.
Yes, they shouldn't be talking about government going back to it again. Rather, the money that will be coming from there, what are you going to use it for? It's not like now the subsidy is not there. They started a law again. It becomes another way of looting again to their own pockets again. Let them tell us how many trillion they'll be spending. Now this money we are going to be having this money with. What are we going to use it for?
All right, then.
Why are we still having Sharia courts in this country if we are one?
All right. We will take some more calls after this break. You stay tuned to Today 95.1 FM.
Today 95.1 FM. I have with me in the studio Mr. Presh and Mr. Jude. Good to have you both. I understand that you're representatives of Pinnacle Derivatives.
Yeah.
So let's start with, what is Pinnacle Derivatives? What's it all about?
All right. First, I want to start by saying Pinnacle Derivative Trade and Investment Company Limited was established in the year 2020 under the Corporate Affairs Commission with the view of trading, and investment. So Pinnacle is basically an investment company we run a couple of packages, very interesting ones. You know, we have a 6 months package. We have a 1 year package as well. Our 6 months package actually goes thus. Now, for the 6 months package, we have the minimum investment of 100,000 naira. Then,
for 6 months?
Yeah, for 6 months. And it's very interesting because we have them in categories, which means we have 4 types. We have the beginner's plan, which means if you invest from between 100,000 to 5 million naira, the company gets to pay you 16% in 30 days, which is very, very interesting. And then we have for the standard plan, which means if you invest between 5 million to 49 million, that's 50 million approximately, the company gets to pay you 12%. And this payment happens every 30 days, which means every month you're going back with a percentage from the company. And then we have the premium plan. When you invest 50 million to 100 million, the company pays you 7% every month. And then the last being the platinum plan, we have from 100 million and above, that's to infinity, the company gets to pay you 2.5%, which is very, very interesting.
Why is it reducing when my money is increasing?
Oh, the investment, the longer your money or the bigger your money, I would say, then we have to reduce the percentage, because if you use your calculator, you notice it's very big. So we're trying to be realistic. You understand?
Okay.
Yeah, we're trying to be realistic. The company's telling you what we could pay you, and we're not just trying to make figures out there that are not, realistic and stuff.
All right, so let's run through the package again. You said there's 100,000 to what?
There's 100,000 to 5 million.
To 5 million.
That's the very first one.
And they get 16%.
16%
per month.
Yeah.
As
that's
ROIs.
That's for the 6 months plan.
Okay, as ROIs.
Yes.
And
exactly.
then the second.
The second 5 million to 99 million. The company pays you 7%, and then from 100 million and above, the company pays you 2.5%.
All right.
I'm gonna
per month, you said.
Yeah, per month.
Okay.
And that's for the 6 months. Now I'm gonna talk about the 1 year plan. For our 1 year plan, we actually have a minimum investment of 300,000 naira, and then when you invest with us, let me say you invest 300,000 naira with us, we pay you a whopping 18% every month, which is amazing.
So you said it's a month package.
Yeah.
So I invest 300,000 this month.
This is a year. This is a year package.
A year package.
Exactly.
And for each month I get 18%.
You get 18%.
Okay, the earlier one is for 6 months.
Yeah,
this is for a year.
Exactly.
So 300,000 per month, I get 18%.
18%. Yeah.
Fantastic. So what else is available? What are the packages?
We have all the soft packages, very interesting ones. For example, we have people out there who will be like, okay, they're facing difficulties paying their rents. A lot of people want to own cars, but then they can't and stuff like that. So we have soft packages. We call them soft packages. So, for example, if you want the company to pay your rent for 3 years, you invest with us 9 months before your due date. And then the company is going to pay your rent for 3 good years for you. And now,
how?
Yeah, that's because the company trades in the foreign exchange market, and I'm going to go detail it to talk about the foreign exchange market.
Okay.
Now, as the name goes, forex, foreign exchange, it's the largest financial market in the whole world, which does a daily turnover of 7.3 trillion US dollars. And now Pinnacle happens to be a participant in this market. We participate in this market, and we make profits in this market. So when you bring your money, we trade in the foreign exchange market, and then we make profits. You understand?
Yeah.
So from here, we are able to pay our clients. We are able to guarantee them, see, you're going to get this 16% every month. For the 1 year plan, you're going to get this 18% every month.
Okay, so we know that our investments with Pinnacle now is used to trade the forex.
And the forex.
All right, then.
Yes.
So what makes the Pinnacle unique? Because I've heard of other companies who do the same thing too, who say, oh, this is why are you any different from the rest of them?
Okay, now, Pinnacle is very unique in the sense that, first, I want to guarantee the general public out there, whatever money you put in Pinnacle is 100% guaranteed, which means your money is secured. Now, I'll tell you why. First, we are certified in all domains. We have our CAC documentation. We have the EFCC, and a couple of others. And now we have a legal binding between the client and the company, which is a memorandum of understanding, which means that's the proof to the client that, we're in business, we're in an agreement. And therefore means if anything should happen, the client has a legal backing to go with. You can say, okay, I'm going to go with this and probably sue the company for not doing what they promised.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So.
And I was talking about paying of rent.
Paying of rent,
where you get to invest with us 9 months before your due date, and then the company gets to pay your rent for 3 good years. Now, the minimum for that is 300,000. Yeah, which means if you say you want the company to pay your rent for 3 years, then the minimum has to be 300,000 naira.
I'm confused here.
All right.
So I have my rent for example, is 500,000 naira per year.
Yeah.
And then I come to the Pinnacle office, and I said, I need you to pay my rent. I come 9 months before my rent is due.
Exactly.
And then I invest 300,000 naira. And then how does this pan into you paying my 500,000 for the next 3 years?
Okay, this is it. We saying the minimum 300,000 actually means the least we can go is 300,000. Anything below that we can't, go with. But if you bring in, like you say, 500,000, that's cool.
No, 500,000 is my rent.
Yeah, that's cool.
Am I supposed to give you my rent? Give you 1.5 million now, 9 months before it's due? But what you do is that you pay for the next 3 years.
Next 3 years, exactly.
Okay, I get it. And there's no ROIs on this.
No
covers
ROIs.
for rent. So every time my rent comes up,
For 3 years.
My caretaker should be knocking on people's doors.
Exactly.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah. And so now we have the other package, owning a car in 120 days. That's 4 months. Now, if you invest 60% of your actually, if you come and you say, okay, I want a car and this is my price, and then the company gets a pro forma. What's a pro forma? That's a pre-receipt. You understand? We get a pro forma, and then after 4 months, we're actually going to...
Wow. 4 months.
4 months.
All right, then.
And then we have other stuff packages such as event planning. You know, a lot of people want to do birthday parties, they want to do wedding ceremonies and all that, but then they don't have budget. Now, it has to be before you. Yeah.
Say that again?
Now, if www